Okay, everyone. I hope everybody's having a fabulous summer. And before we begin, I just want to add that you see Valerie in the corner. Valerie's wave.
Yeah, he's wearing purple.
Yeah, wave again, Valerie. There you go. Valerie's putting together a universal blessing. And that will be taking place next month.
Let me get the date.
Okay. And I just wanted you to know that is a free event where we're going to just all together, we're all going to meditate for love and peace, really. And for our loved ones.
Saturday, August 17th. Yeah, we did send out an email about it. I don't know, you can, if you need his email, because he's handling it, you can contact me.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you go onto our website, Valerie's information is there. So rather contact Valerie directly. Isn't it?
I didn't put it on there.
Why?
Well, because I sent out the email. I figured anybody, and we got a good response from the email.
Oh.
So if somebody wants to...
We should put it on our events page.
Well, it was his event, so I didn't put it on.
Okay.
It's all him. It's his Zoom.
Valerie, can we put it on our event page with your info?
Oh, okay.
Yes. It'll just be easier, then more people can.
No,
you see, the problem is otherwise we get...
for me if they email me, but
Oh, okay. If they want to email Ramaji, that's fine. Whatever you guys want.
And I'll pass Valerie's email on to you.
Yeah.
Put his email into the chat.
Yeah, that's a...
Well, I don't know what it is. Maybe...
Valerie, you put your email into the chat. Yeah. Brilliant idea.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. I'm glad somebody here is...
somebody here is smart.
Yeah, both of us, or at least I'm having a stupid moment. So, I can't say
clueless.
Yeah, I'm not at my best this morning. There we go. Yeah, so if you're interested, that's August 17th. I think it's 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's free. It's be about an hour. And Valerie's running the show. And but me and Ananda will be there. You're going to be there too, right? Because we love what Valerie's doing. Valerie's really great. And
Valerie lives in Russia.
He's in Russia.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. So anyway, contact him if you're interested. And
11 a.m. San Diego time.
Is it 11? Oh, I'm sorry, 11. Thank you for correcting that. So yeah, so if you want to join in, there's already like 18 people, I think. So
the more the merrier. When people meditate together, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's a very special opportunity. Special. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to mention that the format is, we're going to talk about pre and post awakening fallacies first. Then after that, questions and answers. And anytime you have a question, you can put it into the chat at any point, and we'll address them after we do our Dharma talks. And Gary G, who's the host, will be paying attention to those questions and helping us with them. So that's it. That's basically how it is. So Ananda, this is kind of your forte. So why don't you launch into this, and I'll catch up where I can.
It's funny, I don't have that much to say.
We're in trouble then, because I don't have that much to say either.
When it comes to...
As usual, I really don't have anything to say.
I don't have anything to say about it. But I would prefer that this be the least boring satsang you've ever attended. So maybe we can help make this a little bit of fun. And so I guess I can be funny, because I truly believe that most people post-awakening can get a little bit confused. And a lot of people that are long-time seekers, before they awaken, are even more confused. And I'll nail it down to what I think the confusion, in my opinion, is all about. And it boils down to one word: hope. Hope. What is hope? Hope is your mind. Hope is a concept. You are hoping that this isn't reality. Really, you are hoping for a state. You are hoping that this isn't what it is, and you are hoping to escape from reality. And reality is always here, this is it. Which means that every minute, every second is a new, this is it.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Are we recording, Gary G? Because we didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
And people think when I talk to them, a lot of my one-on-ones come at me with nihilism. Well, if there's no hope, what's the point? Correct? But the point is that the minute you stop hoping, and the minute you can see that gap between your hopeful thoughts and the person that you are and the reality as it is, actually things begin to open up to you in miraculous ways. You are no longer stuck in your loops, in your thoughts, and in your hopes. You're actually living from a state of what I call natural beingness, sahaja, your natural state. The only reason a natural state is a problem is because you judge your own thoughts, you judge your own states as being problematic. You judge when you get anxious, I shouldn't be anxious. I shouldn't be sad. I shouldn't be this. I should be feeling that. All that is bullshit. Being yourself means an array of different things come up moment to moment, and we never know what they're going to be because we can't control the catalysts. What are the catalysts? The people we go meet, the people we speak to, what happens in our work, in our jobs. We're not living on an island or on a mountain in the Himalayas, so we can't just sit there blissing out meditating. We are all equally and happily involved with one another all day long. And the point of awakening is not to isolate, it's to interconnect without hope, because you feel you can just be you. And you is perfect just the way it is with all your perceived imperfections. What makes your imperfections imperfect? Your mind. Now, I'm not saying that, feeling stressed out sucks. And I'm not saying that having a bad moment sucks, but so what? What do you expect it to be? So what I'm trying to say to everybody here is there is a fundamental problem in that spirituality itself is becoming like another religion. Now, you're getting people in the world all becoming spiritual, whatever the hell that even means, because even that should be dropping. It's the new age is forming, it's cultish in a sense, because you're the guru. How can you base your states on anybody else's, anybody else telling you what they are or what they should be? Or how you should be? You're the boss of you. Therefore, every time you're sitting with anybody who is claiming to be more elevated than you, more important than you, more special than you, and know more than you, they are giving you a fundamental misconception. You are literally taking it as they are more heightened than I am. I have to get somewhere in order to be like them. And that is exactly why you miss the point. The opposite is true. They are only there to mirror what you already are, which is already perfect just the way it is. Now, does this mean we don't have shit and don't have personality issues and Enneagram stuff and all that stuff? Of course we do, because we're a work in progress. That goes when we die. Which is why I always say, look at your Enneagram. You have an issue, go look at why. That's your persona. It's your personality. That's all. So I'm sorry. I really do kind of like this topic, because there's so much bullshit in all this. I get so pissed off and bored, it's boring after a while, Anyway, so what do you have to say, Ramaji?
Okay. Basically, so kind of saying what Ananda just said, but in a different way.
There you go.
The problem is not experience itself, but the fact that human beings have a very strong tendency to reject the experience that they're having and to judge it and push it away. So unless you think there's something wrong with this moment, is there something wrong with it? You know, I mean, we take an extreme example, somebody gets cancer and they've got what is it, 4th stage or something, they got 6 months to live. Okay, the mind can say, hey, that's really, really horrible. And et cetera, and there's something wrong. But is there something wrong? You see, we're all gonna die. And I mean, you know, any one of us could die tomorrow or later today. So what's this 6 months about? And besides which, that doesn't, some people survived for many years and had the diagnosis. So what's really going on? You see, this is where people, they get into spiritual bypassing. I'm gonna be above human. I'm gonna, you know, be in bliss all the time. I'm not gonna have thoughts anymore. In other words, you're just not gonna be an actual, real, genuine, authentic human being. And why are people, seekers, and even realizers avoiding this? Because being a human being is not easy. It's a challenge. It's a big challenge. It's a challenge every single day. And you're not even in the game of being a human being until you admit that you're lying to yourself, trying to not be a human being. There, like Ananda said, the spirituality, even non-duality, has become, there is still implicit in the way it's being taught that you're not going to be human anymore. We could name some names. Literally, they're saying, oh, you won't be human. You'll be in this special state. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I personally met dozens of enlightened people. Not a single one of them looked anything other than human to me. Sounded,
and they all died of cancer one day.
Well, some of them did.
Yeah.
Some very famous ones died of cancer. Yeah. So you see, so it's your opportunity. You see, it's not like we're going to tell you the magic formula that you then go apply to yourself to fulfill your hopes. You know, as Ananda was saying, your hopes. No, we're telling you, screw your hopes, screw your fantasies, screw your beliefs, your concepts, all of it. You've got to dump it all. You've got to take it all out to the trash, every bit of it, so that you can live in this raw moment as it is without any projection, or as minimal, slightest amount of projection as possible. You know, like Eckhart Tolle's best-selling book, The Power of Now. How do you get the power of now? You got to get rid of everything else except the now. And then the now comes and grabs you, and so that you can sit and stare at a wall and it'll be exciting to you because you're so fucking present. You're so here. You're so real. You're so much in the now. That's the point.
Well, so
everything's in the
stare
now.
At a wall.
I know, it's a terrible example.
Yeah, that's the most terrible example I've ever heard.
I happen to like it.
You know, staring a wall is a master's way of showing you that your monkey mind is never going to work. You know, like a Zen master will send you to meditate over and over again. And every week you go back and talk to your Zen master. What do you say? Oh my God, I can't stop thinking. Oh my God, this went wrong, that went wrong. And what does he say? Go back. Go back. Then he gives you a koan. So you sit for another 10 years considering the koan, you know, and what do you realize eventually? You couldn't stop the mind if you tried, because it's its nature to think.
So yeah, your mind's still going to keep going on to some extent, but the point is you can break free of its veiling influence, and you can actually directly experience the now exactly as it is. But for you to do that, you have to stop preferring and choosing fantasies. You know, I mean, these people that chase immortality, these people that are chasing a perfect state of mind. I'm sorry, you know, maybe in the old days back in India, according to the tradition, you were already had raised your family and you're an older dude, and now you can travel around. So yeah, you go up, live in a cave, meditate all day long, and maybe you spend a lot of time in a bliss state, okay? Mm-hmm. And then that becomes the teaching. But go back to the city, you got a family, you got a job, you got a cell phone, you got a commute, you're doing this, you're doing that. You know what, you're gonna have a lot of content in your mind. That's because it's required if you're gonna deal with people. I mean, we both have we have thoughts about people because we work with people all the time.
I like my thoughts.
There's no way to avoid that. That's part of being a human being, part of the interconnectedness, but it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I just want to say something more here because, you know, again, we're not nihilists. We don't want you guys to think for a second that, I mean, for me, I will truly and honestly say that what I really think what I really believe is that it is really important to wake up. Because the minute you awaken, you now are thinking for yourself. You're no longer buying into other people's, the things you're reading in the news, this, that, and the other. You're actually now open to, oh my God, I have my own mind. I don't have to follow this and be a sheep or that. What's going on in the world? What am I doing with myself? What do I really want versus what I've been conditioned to believe I should want? How am I living my life according to my truth versus what I've been conditioned to do in my life that I did only because my family, or I should have done this, or I thought that being a doctor was the best thing for me, but actually I can't fucking stand my job. You see, that's why you wake up, to be you. And the you that you are is the blessing, because that's the point, so it's not nihilistic. It's freedom, the freedom to be yourself.
Until you wake up, you're living in a prison of the mind and you don't even know it. So awakening means you break out of prison, you breathe the fresh air, and the mistake that people make is they think, oh, great, now I'm awakened, so I'm done. No, now you're awakened, now you get to start.
And that's where it can become a little tricky. Because this, I always say, and I guess, it's funny because my life, for me, in my experience, awakening has been the most destructive process I've ever had to go through. Years of post-awakening destruction. When I say destruction, I mean everything I believed to be true, I went through just, before I had my awakening, kind of like this letting go of my small belief systems, this, that, and the other. One by one, I used to burn them up. Post my awakening, I thought, oh my God, I've done this work. Only to discover piles of shit that I still had to work through and go through.
Your life has totally changed externally.
Yeah. And I had to deal with the external changes because clearly the reflection, my reality was changing due to my internal changes. I would no longer buy into the way, many things about the way I was raised, the people in my life, and what was expected of me versus who am I really, what do I want, what do I want to do? And this took tremendous courage. So, if you really want to live your awakening, that's what it's going to take. I'm sorry, and it's not always fun. I've cried, I've wept, I've had to let go of important people. It's been a nightmare straight from the depths of hell itself, actually. Has it been a bowl of cherries? Am I singing, the blues? No, but do I feel better intrinsically because I'm being me? Yes. Regardless.
In simple terms, like using her life as example, everything that was in Ananda's life that was false has fallen away or is falling away, everything. So that can include people, for example, but it isn't just people, so that's what happened to me. It didn't happen so dramatically or so quickly, but basically everything that was phony in my life and false and not true fell away, literally.
And I'm writing a book about it, actually, because I feel that the extreme nature of my awakening was like a soap opera. Yeah, I don't even think soap operas are this dramatic. But so I think for that purpose alone, it's an interesting story, even though it's just a story, because I don't even think these things happen in the movies. And I think it will help any one of you when you actually look at your own lives. And then, you can always say, well, if Ananda can go through this kind of hell, so can I, and believe me, it hasn't been easy. So, and if I can still say to you that I wouldn't have it any other way. There have been times that I used to actually think, why did I wake up? Why did this happen to me? And why so extreme? And I would have thought, oh my God, can I go back? And I go back and I go back, and you can't go back. So there were moments, but if you work through those and you allow your feelings to surface and you do not resist them, and you let all those, you see, this is something very interesting that I can only speak of because I've experienced it. In my case, and maybe in some of yours, what we're really afraid of is our emotions, our negative emotions. We're afraid of the pain. We're afraid of the anxiety, and we're afraid of the loneliness, and we're afraid of a lot of normal emotions and fear. fear being the biggest. The minute you can understand that these are only emotions, and that we have these, we all have these blockages, and the reason we try and awaken, and it's very paradoxical, is because we want to overcome and not feel those things. So when we feel all blissy and we're in a somehow heightened state and above it all, we think we are now, we think that is going to get us to a place where we're not going to feel our emotions. We're going to be so detached. Spiritual bypassing, number one. In fact, that's, they say the five, Enneagram 5, they are the kings of spiritual bypassing. Buddhism was made for them. I'm so detached naturally, because they're detached naturally. So therefore, I don't feel my feelings anyway, and I must be like Buddha. No, you're detached because you're afraid of your feelings.
Yeah, but your ability to process your emotions and not resist them is actually a form of non-attachment.
Yes.
See, the issue.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Well, right, because in other words, there's nothing wrong with an emotion unless you get all stuck in it, and you're all caught up in it, and then it gets very complicated, and the mind's involved in the past.
Or you avoid it.
Or you're trying to avoid it, suppress it, deny it. But in fact, to simply allow an emotion to flow through your whole body like a river, if you can do that, which is what both of us have worked on that a lot in order to, be able to work with emotion in that way, then an emotion is just like another form of weather. I mean, we don't go, oh my God. I mean, we don't typically look out the window and go, it's raining, so my life's over. I mean, no, it's just weather.
Yeah, but I was getting to something.
All
so
right.
I'm sorry, I just want to go back
for it.
here. So the paradox is, and this is something that you all can think about and really just contemplate this understanding, that an awakening does the opposite, because it's not a thinking universe. It's a feeling universe. So what can happen is we suddenly become overcome with all these emotions. It can seem for a while like I'm even more anxious, even more sad. You don't even know why.
Well, they're in the subconscious to begin with.
Exactly. That's what I call owning the shadow. Sitting with boredom, if it's boredom. Sitting with sadness, if it's sadness, sitting with happiness, because the more you let these themes come and go, you suddenly become what I call current. Now, it took me 4 years to become current, with all due respect. I'm sure it'll be less for you because I had a lot going on. But current, what I mean is, if somebody pisses me off here now, I'll be pissed off here now, and I'll have a moment, then the next moment will come.
It took me at least 3 years just for perspective.
Yeah, for perspective, it took him 3 years. So in other words, you work past the old themes that you were avoiding, and then after a couple of years you become current, so that life is now feeling by feeling by feeling by feeling. And if you build a story around the feeling, like so-and-so pissed me off, so what? Yes, we're all going to do that, because we're all interconnected. But something happens in that you understand that the story is the story. You see it very clearly, and then you can decide, do I need to go into this story, or can I just let this feeling come and go? My disappointment come and go, my hurt come and go, my whatever come and go. Even your bliss is going to come and go. But what doesn't come and go? The one noticing that all that's happening. But that can be very boring, isn't it? Like, oh God, I'm just sitting, I'm awareness. So?
One of the biggest lies, we've heard it over and over from different sources, is that the highest state is this kind of numbed out, you don't have feelings anymore. I'm sorry, that's a transitional state at best. It is not, enlightened does not mean you become a block of wood without feeling. It means the opposite. Now your capacity to feel is off the charts. People say, oh, I want to be in bliss. Well, if isn't that a feeling? And if you're going to be in profound bliss, doesn't that require an enormous depth of capacity to feel? But like Ananda said, we're afraid to feel. We have a whole culture, a civilization that does everything it can to support you distracting yourself and not actually really feeling in this moment.
Oh, don't get me started on mind control. Mind control. Do you understand? We are mind controlled people. Every day, we're looking at our phones. These advertisements. The reason we're not out there talking to people, interconnecting, it's so much easier to just alienate yourself and sit on your phone or playing a game. we're not in nature walking. It's easy. I mean, literally, and we are being brainwashed. And this is why I do my job. This is why, this is even more motivating to me now than ever, because the minute a person awakens, you won't be brainwashed. You see very clearly.
Well, you have the opportunity to not be brainwashed, but there are conceits,
yes,
or illusions, narcissism, in post-awakening. What I'd like to do now is just quickly touch on a couple of things with the pre-awakening and the post-awakening, just in terms of ticking some things off.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys, who's new? Who's never been to a satsang before?
Raise your hand if you're new.
Okay.
Keep your hands up. We're still looking.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. So what I would like is that for you, firstly, for the new people, please to sign up on our website and become like what is it called?
Well, I think they're on because they got the mailing.
Oh, yeah. Like to become a member. What's it called? Not a member. It's like
the newsletter.
Like and prescribe. I don't even know. I'm not on social media. I don't even know what that all means.
But maybe if you're new, you could ask a question. You're here. You made the effort to come here, and feel free to use the chat box to ask a question. There's probably some question that you really have. We encourage you to do that. A lot of people have been to many of our satsangs, so they may not really have questions. They're just here to share the joy of this experience. So I want to talk about, there's a difference between the fallacies of a person who's a seeker or pre-awakening and the fallacies or misconceptions of a person who is post-awakening. And we promised to talk about that, so I want to make sure that we just really nail it and are very, very specific. Okay, so basically what's going on is the seeker is caught up in his or her mind, doesn't really realize the extent to which that's happening. They're in a prison of the mind, and they're essentially utilizing the seeking as a drug. They're wanting to get high, they're wanting to escape. Okay, and they're wanting, they're thinking, what's in it for me? This enlightenment, okay, this enlightenment is like the ultimate payoff. It's like winning the spiritual lottery, so they're motivated by that. Now, so they're basically, we could list all there's a book, as you're probably familiar with, The Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda. Now, as much good as that book has done, in my opinion, it's done a tremendous amount of damage, because it's really confused people about what enlightenment is. He made it, and I've talked to more people about that book than any other book. It's just been hugely, hugely influential. And basically he's making it look like it's all magic and it's, bliss and it's this, and it's not. It's not. Maybe it is like that for a few people. I really don't know. But I haven't met anybody like that.
Well, I went through a phase.
Yeah, I went through phases too. You could be in bliss for 2 years. You could be in bliss for 10 years. That's not what this is. We're talking about living in reality, and 1 ounce of reality is worth a ton of bullshit and fantasies. Okay, so basically what happens is the seeker finally realizes that they're hypnotizing themselves and they're fooling themselves. And they get to a point, typically this is what happens, they get to a point of what we call end of seeking, where they realize that the seeking itself is a trap. They're on a treadmill chasing something. They've been going around the world, to India, going to satsangs, they're watching videos, reading books, seeking, and they realize the seeking is itself a trap. So they want to get out of seeking. They're at end of seeking, and that is when the reality is starting to hit them. The other shoe is dropping. This drug isn't going to work. They could have spent 10 or 20 years doing this, and they finally realize, oh my God, I'm fooling myself. And they may have, and there's many, you already know, but all you have to do is go look, and there are all these teachers promising all of these things. And in my opinion, you go look at their lives, you go look at what really happens. And so very often these people promising the highest and most beautiful and most magnificent above human states are, in fact, their lives are filled with dirty laundry. They're just all kinds of bad things that they've done. So what's the reality? You know, that's what we're concerned about. I mean, we're happy if somebody's, you know, super happy and bliss and all this stuff. Good for you. We're not opposed to that.
I love bliss. Who doesn't
Yeah.
love bliss?
Yeah, we've both
Who doesn't
experienced
love love?
profound bliss for,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes very long periods of time, and we dig it and it's cool, but that's not what this is.
It's also unconditional love opening up,
Yeah,
guys.
that's really what it's about.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, that's where it's headed. And I can assure you that's where it goes. It just takes time. And I wish I could put a time limit on it for each person. That's why I prefer not to go here. But something happens. And somebody just asked a really interesting question. I think it was Richard. Yeah. What do you do with the emotions? I'm going to give you guys something to do with the emotions because I had to figure this out. At the end of every day, if you're feeling emotional or you've had lots of interactions during the course of your day, please don't effort any of this. Go and live your life and be yourselves and have fun, do what you do. But at the end of every day, reflect for 10 minutes. Think about if you had any kind of feelings during the course of your day that was sadness, unworthiness, happiness, you know, maybe you felt insecure, I don't know, self-loathing, you can name it. And put those feelings into the heart chamber. Love your insecurities, love your self-loathing, love everything that you perceive is wrong. In other words, I think I'm doing this wrong. Put it there. Love it. Give it to yourself. Give it to your love. Love, you are love. I know. I mean, it's, in a way, it's a big contradiction, but you really are. And the more you can love those perceived imperfections just as they are, without a story, then what starts to happen is you start to feel what's called self-acceptance. I am not a perfect human being. I have imperfections. My perceived imperfections are precisely what make me perfect because I'm a work in progress. You know, sometimes I feel anger, sadness, depression, and I can love that side of me. And eventually what happens is it does go away. You are no longer judging yourself. The problem isn't the feeling. The problem is judgment of the feeling. So when you go over your day for 10 minutes every day and you put it into the heart, what happens is slowly but surely something shifts. And I'm saying this especially to young people who are listening here today, because there is a vast difference between a seeker who's been at this and lived their life, who's, you know, for example, like Ramaji or Gary G, you know, they're already in their late 60s and 70s, you know, they've been through a lot of life. You know, for young people, we're dealing with a different kind of reality, and not because I'm not young, but I mean, some of you are like in your 20s, you know, I mean, and 30s. So, you know, you have to be out there and live your lives accordingly. And you're going to be subject to more bullshit than somebody that's retired, you know?
Let me give them my technique for dealing with emotions. Okay. So my technique is to lay on my bed and set aside an hour, and let's say I'm upset about something, or I'm upset with somebody, or I just...
The only thing he gets upset about is me. I'll tell you the only thing. He gets so upset with me. You've never.
Not the only thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There are a few other things.
Yeah. So when he gets upset with me, he lies on his bed, and then what do you do? Yeah.
And so I lie in my bed, just relax the whole body, and then allow the feelings to flow through the body like a little river. And you see, as we said earlier, the problem is not the arising. You know, the arising is perfect. Look at the universe. It works perfectly. Look at nature. It works perfectly. It really does. But look at what it's doing. Killing millions of animals, giving birth to millions of animals, you know, tornadoes, thunders, you know, hurricanes, earthquakes, tidal waves. See that? Creation and destruction, creation and destruction, creation and destruction, birth and death, birth and death. That's what the hell's going on. But we don't like that, okay? And it's happening in us too, in our little microcosm. So the key is, we think if I can manipulate or change or improve what's arising, it'll be better. It won't be better. The universe knows what it's doing. So when it gives you something, meaning an arising thought, emotion, body sensation, etc., don't fight it, don't resist it, go with it, do your best to fully experience it, feel it, allow it, receive it,
I love
and
it.
get to know it.
Mhm.
This is loving it. We
Mhm.
could say love it, but you see, that kind of leaves a blank for a lot of people. So we're saying approve of it, appreciate it, receive it, welcome it, be curious about it.
I do say love it and put it in your heart, because like it's the
No, put it in your heart.
it's
sure.
our inner
Yeah.
child. It's the inner child that wasn't allowed to just be who they are. It's also, it's our conditioning. It's our belief systems. A boy, for example, shouldn't cry. You know, we have to be macho. We have to be this. We have to be that. And it's all this stuff that leads to these odd emotions. Vincent, how old are you? Vincent.
32.
Oh, you, my gosh, you look young.
Yeah, doesn't he?
You know, I thought to myself, maybe you're 13. I thought, are you too young to be listening to this? Should I not be swearing?
No,
You know, I'm just checking.
Oh no, he's a man of the world.
No, thank you, Vincent. I just wasn't
He's
sure.
lived more life in his 32 years than most people who
good.
are 64.
Oh, good. Okay. Gosh, he looks tremendously.
He does look really young.
What herbs do you
this
take? I
guy's
mean, do you have a
had it.
solution? I'm very into looking young.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, anyway, thanks, Vincent. You can remute.
Thanks.
Yeah, but I just want to finish with what I was saying. So as you're laying on the bed, relaxing, allowing everything, not interfering with anything, then you'll see the mind taking various postures and positions, and they all just melt and fade away. They all come and go, come and go, come and go. And at some point it fades, and then there you are with the flow itself. So the flow itself, the Tao, is the thing. And we're always trying to resist it and freeze it and manipulate it. And that's the problem. The problem is not the Tao. So you see, when we get back to what's going on with pre-awakening, what's happening is people have been taught that spirituality is about becoming above the human condition, above your negative feelings, and you're going to transcend them. In fact, what you should be doing is moving towards your shadow, not away from it.
That's when it solves
And
itself.
that's the same for post-awakening too. So basically what I'm saying in terms of pre-awakening, the fallacies are anything and everything that promises you're going to be able to escape the human condition. And there are dozens of those fallacies.
I want to talk about another issue.
And relationships are great for exposing your bullshit
stuff,
as well.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about this as
Which
well.
a lot of seekers avoid, right? They're solo, right? And that's all great so they can concentrate on their meditation. But what's happening in terms of their emotions and their reality as a human being is they're not in relationship. So they're not getting feedback. And so they're, reading all these Dharma books, non-duality books, and, just accumulating concepts, knowledge, etc., with no feedback to correct them. So they become more realistic and honest with themselves.
I want to talk a little bit about two things. Let the first thing be, if you don't mind, Ramaji, I want to talk about humility, because awakening is humbling. The hierarchy is the first thing to drop, because you know that there's really is nothing that separates you or is really different about you. In a way, I mean, in the most basic way to anybody else. So a lot of people want this enlightenment because they want to be unique and special, particularly Enneagram type 4s. They're hoping for that. I'm going to be so unique, special because I'm enlightened. The opposite is true. So what? You see, that's the paradox. You're awakened, and now you're a human being, just like other human beings. And that is the beauty of it. You see, the problem in the world is that there's separation. The separation is due to I'm better than you, I know more than you, I'm more awakened than you, I'm more enlightened than you. The minute you can see past that BS, and the minute you can see that that's just another way you're bypassing being you and just accepting that you're you and they're them and they have their process, I have my process, and they're both equally as important and special, and that no one has a right to insert their process on anybody else's or to tell them that they're elevated and this person isn't. No. It's humbling, and that's where you develop the compassion from, because all of a sudden you feel, wow, you know, I mean, yeah, we all have this essence that we share, but we have different personalities. So we're all expressing it via our different natures and personalities. So you feel very humbled and very compassionate. And that's kind of where it gets to. I'm just being me and you're just being
Well,
you.
you should get there post-awakening, but the problem is what in Zen they call the stink of enlightenment.
Stink of enlightenment.
So you're now going around and you're thinking, I'm an enlightened person.
You know,
Which of course makes me pretty damn special.
I really wanted to feel that too. I'll be honest with you.
I'm one in a million.
Yeah. You know, I went through a phase. Okay, this was like when I first awakened, and I remember I didn't have any seeker friends, so I used to like study all by myself for years, and then I had these unbelievable experiences, and believe me, they just experiences. But I was absolutely astounded. In fact, you know, I just really would have preferred to just continue buying shoes and doing my nails and not worrying about this shit. And I don't even know why it happened, but it did. And I'll never forget. First, I wanted to tell my ex-husband because I suddenly had an absolute, everything changed instantly.
He was your husband at the time.
Yes, at the time he was my husband. This was years ago. I rushed over to tell him, oh my God, you can't die. I'm not my body. You know, I'm enlightened. I think I'm enlightened. You just won't believe what happened. He looked at me, that's really cool, babe. And he carried on playing his game. Okay, so then I thought, okay, well, I couldn't believe it. Then I rushed down to my parents' house to tell them that I just can't believe now. I had no one to talk to about this. You know, I didn't know what to do. And they looked at me like I'd fallen off a tree. And they said, you know, that's really cool, you know, and then they changed the subject. And I realized that it took me a while. I mean, I was blown away. I didn't know what to do really with what I knew, but I realized that you can't explain this, you know, you can't, you know, you're not going to be noticed for it. You know, I mean, so in a way it had happened, but I was seeking some kind of approval, some kind of recognition, which I had to see in myself in order to get past that. And of course, they made it very easy for me to see that in myself because there was absolutely no interest and they all thought I was off my rocker and I never spoke about it again. So until I really met Ramaji, which was years later. So I had integrated, and this was happening when I was alone. So I wish I had a group like you. But anyway, so my point being that seekers are it's a breed of people that I believe merit seeking, because for some unknown reason, our souls are ready for this ultimate knowing. And that's why there's so few seekers in the world, less than 1%, I think, of the population.
Oh, much less than that.
Yeah.
Well, can I just kind of dial into post-awakening, and it's based on what you were just saying. What is the main problem post-awakening? Okay, because I talked about pre-awakening as basically it's about fantasies. You know, it's being fed. It's not the person's fault, really. It's being fed by all of these teachers and texts and videos, and I don't blame people for fantasizing. But in the end, it's about the end of seeking. And of course, seeking previously was for sex, for love, for money, for power, for a house, for a car, for a job. And then the seeking gets more refined and now it's for enlightenment. But then you finally see through the seeking who is doing this seeking, and you see that the seeking must end if you're ever going to be free. And there is no real reward for the ego. Ego, you know, enlightenment's the biggest disappointment.
So the ego's greatest
ever going to have. It's basically, okay, so post-awakening, then like Ananda is saying, it's the tendency is to now think you're special. You now go walk around with the stink of enlightenment, which you think is a perfume, and you think you're very special, and maybe you become a spiritual teacher. Now, you know, we're just amazed to watch some spiritual teachers. They are, you know, they sit here like, you know, and like, you know, some of them imitate Ramana Maharshi, other, you know, they do that. They're just so obviously being spiritual and so obviously presenting that they're in some special state. I mean,
but you know what, you know,
I wish I could just slap them.
Yeah, it's the authenticity.
They're not being authentic at all, not even a little bit. What they're doing is selling a product. They're salesmen selling an image. That's it. What's the reality? The reality is he shits and pisses just like anybody else. He puts his trousers on one leg at a time. He's got probably the same things going on in his relationship that anybody else does. He's bullshitting you and he's bullshitting yourself. We're not saying there aren't some amazing saintly type people who do approximate the highest thing, the Dalai Lama or whatever. We're not saying that isn't part of the human potential, but what we're saying is what we see time and again is the fallacy is being fed that you will be like this teacher sitting up there who's acting for a couple of hours.
You weren't born to be like anybody else. You were born to be yourself, and existence does not make mistakes. Just like a rose, and I love this. I mean, a rose does not want to be a tulip. A rose is quite happy to be a rose. And it needs as much water as roses needs, and sunlight and shade, and completely not what the tulip needs. But they're quite happy to be themselves, you know, and they don't really care if somebody walks by and admires them or not. They just are beautiful flowers, you know. So the thing is to really see in yourself, what is it? Now, it doesn't mean if you don't have any kind of ambition, and you don't want to be successful or make money or succeed. Absolutely. That's part of desire. It's part of being a human being. It just means you don't have to judge that in yourself.
Well, what we're saying is, see, yeah, like, so, see,
you know, it's
desire,
so paradoxical. It's
desire,
like,
ambition, etc., relationships, living life. See, that's all normal. And actually that will continue unless you decide, as so many people do, to now live as if you're enlightened, instead of living as if you're a human being. Okay, so that's what we're saying is the trap is you get enlightened, you're awakened now, and you have an image of what that looks like and what that should be like. Now, if you're getting paid for that, you're going to keep doing it. Okay, so that's one fallacy that happens post-awakening. That burns off if you can see it. But you see, if you're a spiritual teacher and you don't have anybody else to give you feedback, and you're being successful with it to some extent, you're not going to change that. Mm-hmm. So somehow there has to be an inner, a new awakening in yourself to being really honest with yourself. That's the problem. They weren't being really honest before. They're not being really honest now. Okay, another thing that comes up a lot is this whole thing of, you know, in non-duality, we're taught, okay, you're perfect just as you are. Everything just happens. It's all spontaneous. And so you don't have to do anything. Well, again, I mean, it does take time. It could take 3 years or more, say, to where you really, really, really understand what's going on. But basically, being perfect as you are just means everything is perfect, including your worst moments. Mm-hmm. Everything is perfect exactly as it is means exactly mm-hmm. that. And not being the doer simply means you're not the small doer like you used to think. You now have instead, now that you're awakened, you have the power of the universe behind you to do at a
from
level,
a different place,
at a level that's
a
higher
different operating
and greater
system
than you ever had before. This is a concept that people are attached to, and so they stagnate post-awakening because they think, I'm not the doer. No, nobody's the doer. The universe is the doer. God's the doer.
Here's an example. Valerie is an example. I'm just going to use him as like, because it actually struck me now, right this second. Valerie got to 1,000, I don't know, 6 months ago, I'm not sure. But suddenly Valerie is in, do you work in the government there, Valerie? No, okay, whatever. But he wants to be, you know, I mean, or whatever. But whatever Valerie does, he's
doing stuff.
He's a busy man.
Yeah.
My point being that now that the switch over has happened, from his core, has suddenly decided to do this peace thing. Now, does that mean Valerie's not the doer? You know, Valerie, little Valerie is still going to, has been kind of cast aside, like the little one who's doubting, can I, can't I, should I, shouldn't I? And the force that he has decided, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to tell Ramaji and Ananda, this is what I want to do, what I'm doing. And get, you know, whereas he may not have had the confidence to do so before. He may have doubted himself before, but he's coming from his authenticity. He's coming from what is meaningful to him right now. I'm just trying to use an example. He is still the doer, but he's not the little doer. It's more of I don't know how to even say this. It's like a bigger you that is connected to everybody else, that wants to share and wants to help.
It looks to me like Valerie completed a process that I see as essential in everybody post-awakening. But a lot of people get stuck, and that process is emotional maturity and coming and realizing that being awakened in itself is not enough.
I don't think I'm 100% emotionally mature.
No, but that's,
You know?
I didn't mean 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, what I mean, awakening is okay. So awakening brings clarity.
Yeah,
Awakening
clarity.
brings knowing who you are, what you are.
And going for it in a way.
But
even if you don't, who cares? You know?
But what's missing and what comes after time, if the person is really eager to fulfill their potential as a human being, is the opening of the heart to a much deeper level. So basically, it ends up, you lose your self-importance, as Ananda was saying earlier. You lose your self-importance. You realize your self-importance is an obstacle. And then other people become very important. You actually are able to then think of other people, of their needs, of how you can help them. And this is the bodhisattva attitude, as they teach in Buddhism. You see,
but that's also paradoxical, because it's not like you lose your self-importance. It's that your self-importance doesn't only now include you. In fact, in a way, it's like the self is everything now. So when it's like,
well, the self-importance of the self is everything.
Is exactly.
Not the self-importance of you as the narcissistic center.
It's not the narcissistic little me. It's more empathy. It's kind of the difference between narcissism
well,
and
you
empathy.
really, or the interconnectedness. I mean, of course, you're not less than somebody else.
Never.
But we're finding the interconnectedness, and there's just this tendency, which is very, very old, and it still continues post-awakening. Even if you're genuinely awakened or enlightened, there's still this tendency to be narcissistic, to be self-important, this stink of enlightenment, I'm enlightened. When you've forgotten all about being enlightened and you're just living your day to the best of your ability, at some point what happens is that you recognize the need to cultivate the heart. The awakening is a big step, but it's more mental. The opening of the heart is an endless cultivation. There's two tracks. There's the awakening track or awareness track, and then there's the cultivation of character or the heart track. And they don't always, in the West, we emphasize the mind, so the heart is left behind. So for many of us, when we awaken, we really need to focus on the heart and on love, and that's an endless unfolding. And one thing about the way non-duality is being taught is nowadays it's taught to me in an amoral way. It's not being, so you could have somebody awakened and then they can really be acting like an asshole.
Yeah.
And you're going, well, they're really awakened. I get it because of what they're saying, but yet why are they acting that way? And the reason they're acting that way is they had a genuine awakening, but their character level is not at the same level. Their heart is not as open as their mind is. This is a big problem, and
well,
it's very confusing.
I think it happens though. I think it's it's organic as well. So you can't really force this. I truly believe it takes years.
Well, I am saying it takes years. The 3 or 4 years we're talking about to where a new kind of aha comes on. It's not really a new awakening, but you realize, oh my God, I'm really still full of myself. I really think I'm really, that's special. And it's not that you're not special, but that specialness should not interfere with your capacity to be open to others, to receive them, to recognize their suffering. You see, once we get awakened, I mean, for me, I spent the first 3 years, I was like pretty happy, like, oh, goody, I'm enjoying, my awakening. And then I just couldn't not hear the suffering of other people.
But it doesn't have to be that way for everybody. Everybody must follow their truth, whatever that means for them. It doesn't have to be that you suddenly have to become a spiritual teacher, because I can tell you there's absolutely not. You can serve at Starbucks and be an amazingly loving person and make a person's day.
I'm not saying they have to be spiritual teachers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that
yeah,
people have the misconception that because they got awakened, they're done. They're not done. Now they have the potential to be great.
Well, yeah. Well, again, it's living according to your own truth, whatever that means to you, and discovering what that actually is, which takes a long time. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about, and I know I keep on bringing this up, but it's your Enneagram types. Remember that you're going to be a wake up and you still have a body. It's not going anywhere, and you still have a mind there, and you will never, ever, ever be able to get rid of your mind or your body until you die. Therefore, you're filtering this knowingness via your Enneagram type. A 5 is going to still be a 5. A 6 is still going to be a skeptical 6. A 7 is still going to be a jumping around 7 that hates to be bored. And an 8 is still going to be like me, needing to be the boss. What's my fixation? Being bossy. What's my deadly sin? The bossiness, needing to challenge, both in a way. So what does an 8 need to look at? I'm just using myself always as the example. Why do I need to be so dominating? What is that? Where is that coming from? Why can't I show my vulnerability?
Yeah, where is that?
Why am I so afraid of being vulnerable?
Where is that coming from?
And each of us has a different fixation. A 4, for example, constantly is feeling, introjecting, taking on their shadow. Something's always wrong. You are still going to be a 4. You're always going to feel there's always a problem. You know, 4s are the most complex of all the Enneagram types. They always go back into their problems. They literally are the shadow. They are like the projection of the shadow in all of us, because their capacity to go into these dark, horrendous moments is greater than most. You know, and it's always happiness is somewhere back there in the past or in the future, and an ex-girlfriend, or, you know, so you're still working with your personality.
Yeah, but there's a freedom. Let's make it clear. You're not going to, quote unquote, transcend your Enneagram, but what you can do is make those tendencies and those blind spots conscious. And then you have freedom within the context or space of that Enneagram, a ton of freedom compared to what you had before, a ton of not being compelled to do something. You have space to where you can actually make.
Well, I'm going there, you know, and what I'm saying now is, you know, the question to ask yourself, if you want to become more conscious of your fixations, is what is my motivation? And if you can just pause for a second and ask yourself that question, you then give yourself the ability to do something consciously or differently if that's what you want to do. You know, 6 is very skeptical. The 6s will be the people that after, you know, they tell me they're at 1,000, just 6 months later, they'll say, I don't think I'm at 1,000. How can I be at 1,000? You know, their skepticism, their stress, their anxiety, it's always there. You know, Gary G will complain he's bored. This is after acting and playing golf and every other hobby and book in the world, you know, because he needs to jump around. That's Gary. You know, that's a 7, you know, so, you know, we know who we're dealing with here. You know, you've got to know yourselves this well. You know, and I always say that's our work. And that doesn't end till the day we die. You know, the Dalai Lama said, stop judging people. Instead, look at your own judgment, look at your own hatred, look at your own stuff. You want to know your work? That's our work. And that becomes even more crystal clear post-awakening. And that's what happens. All of a sudden, we see our trash. And we have to deal with it. And if we are the type of people who never have, you're in for a treat. That's the shadow. You integrate it, you look at it, and guess what? You absorb it, you can admit to it, and you can start doing things differently. That's our ongoing work, because we will always have a personality, a persona. You know, and again, people think that enlightenment is somehow going to help you, like, not have a personality anymore, not be yourself anymore. And that's the opposite. You're more yourself, which means that your stuff is more obvious to you, you know?
You're able to live in an uninhibited, spontaneous way. What is spontaneous is true. What is true is spontaneous. That's how it really is. All the contrivances, all the manipulations, all the trying to be this way or that way, none of it works. The only thing that works is to be yourself, whatever that is, and be spontaneous. So getting current, as Ananda put it, means now finally you're actually being spontaneous. You're actually being real unauthentic. That's the whole freaking point. So, you know, when somebody's moaning about post 1000 or post awakening, it's not the way they wanted and all that stuff. That's the problem.
I don't give a shit if it's not the way you want it.
Why are you moaning? Why are you moaning? Just get with it. It is this, everything that happens. I mean, when it happens, could you have stopped it before it happened? No, because everything is arising out of the now. It's like a wave arising from the ocean. The ocean does not have a problem with waves, and neither should you. Everybody has this karma. You know, everybody has karma or things that are going to happen mentally, emotionally, physically, post 1000 as well as before. It's not the end of karma. As long as you have a body, you will have karma, you know. So there is an improvement that takes place. There's a quality level that goes up, you know, so that your baseline is higher, but you've got to process the shit. And that stuff could be for, you know, if you believe in past lives, it could be a bunch of past life stuff. It could be in your subconscious, and maybe even it's future life stuff.
Oh my God, we have to start thinking about karma now.
Well,
Isn't this life enough?
but I'm just trying to say, people have these ideas, and some people have a lot more crap to deal with than other people do. And you just deal with it. It is your stuff.
It was Carl Jung who said enlightenment has got nothing to do with with the light. It's got everything to do with making the darkness conscious.
Yeah.
So people want to know why you have to integrate your shadow, because it's part of you.
Do you want to go to the questions now?
That was one of them. I'm answering it.
Well, would you like to start from the beginning with the question?
Yeah, we can do that. And then I just wanted to say one other thing that may be helpful. Okay. One other thing for each type. One's, yeah, meditation's good. I don't say everyone should sit. It's always a good idea. But it's funny. Different things work for different people. For example, a 7 Gary G, you should be meditating for 15 minutes a day, all 7s, because they don't like to sit. They don't like to feel a feeling. Okay, so sit for 10 minutes. 8s too, 9s, you are so naturally meditative, truly, dudes. You know, what you guys should be doing is just going to do something. Jump into action. Let that be your meditation. Same with 5s. I know you can sit and be detached. Go do something else out of your comfort zone. Let that be your meditation. Okay, 2s can't bear being empty or being alone. Spend at least a day alone as often as possible and be empty. You know, 3s just think they're so wonderful and all the rest of it. Actually, you better learn about your Enneagram quickly, although there are very few 3s that ever become spiritual. You know, 4s, you know, you have a tendency to, you know, introject and really look at this and really start seeing the patterns and letting them go, and sit and really make yourself a journal about everything that's positive in your lives, you know, and just keep on adding to it. Or a jar that says, you know, I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for. Stop the cycle of the negative thoughts, you know, as much as you can. Okay. So, and a 6, you're very skeptical. You know, you're by nature skeptic, everything's skeptical, and you're anxious and you're terrified. You know, so what you have to do if you're a 6 is recognize your skepticism and your anxieties are part of your nature. And again, for you, claiming what's positive, thinking about what you're afraid of, doing what you're afraid of so that you're no longer afraid of it, and actually recognizing that you do not have to buy into those fearful beliefs. Write them down, burn them, and do it differently. That's your work. It's ongoing. A 7, you know, 7s are so, now remember, a conscious 7 knows that this is going on with them. So, you know, a conscious 8 like me, the boss, I need to sit. I'll always need to sit for the rest of my life because I like to move, to go. Energy, so much energy. So you're doing something that you would not, you see, that's the meditation. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not the same. It's not like a one size fits all world. It just isn't. So understand that the parts of yourselves that need
everybody wants
to do
to
things
stay
differently.
comfortable. You want to stay comfortable, stay, you know, like for a 5, like me, taking action, getting out in the world, getting involved with people, etc.
Yeah, he hates it.
Not comfortable for me. I don't even like to go shopping. I don't want to.
He would just sit in a room for the rest of his life.
I don't want to go anywhere. You know.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with anybody. I want to be in my mind. I want to, you know, be thinking about something. We're talking about the Enneagram.
The Enneagram, yeah, and I would recommend that if anybody does not understand or know about the Enneagram, please buy a book. Gary G, put the book, The 9 Lenses on the World by Jeremy Wagner. Can you put that in the yeah, I say Jeremy.
It's Jerome.
How do you know?
Because I know. Because I'm a 5.
Okay, it's Jerome. Well, but it's spelled the same.
No, there's 2 different things.
Oh,
you pronounce it Jeremy? Jerome.
Yeah, I pronounce it Jeremy.
Oh, it's to me.
I've never even heard the word Jerome.
Oh my God, we're saying the same thing.
Yeah. I'm South African. You're not. You're American.
I'm from Kansas. To me, that's
so we would call Jeremy. We'd never say Jerome.
Yeah, 9 lenses on the world. We think it's the best one.
Yeah, the nine lenses on the world.
Yeah.
By Jeremy Wagner.
Yeah.
And that'll tell you about, and then if you're not certain about your type,
Go online.
go online to the Hudson and Rousseau free Enneagram test.
Hudson and Rousseau, R-U-S-S-O.
It's a free test that takes 5 minutes. Answer it honestly.
Yeah, see, the Enneagram, with the reason we're focused on and have been for years, is it's not just personality typing. You actually get down into what you're avoiding that is either blocking your awakening or is keeping you stuck in your post-awakening unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, I mean, I used to be a therapist, and, you know, we both agree, why the hell isn't the Enneagram being used by every therapist on the planet?
Why isn't it taught at school?
It blows my mind. And I have extremely high standards of something that's going to blow my mind. And I'm continually impressed by the revelations, even that I had about myself. Now, I found out only after I got introduced to the Enneagram that the path I took, where I went from living in my head to actually taking action in the world and all these things, was actually what I was supposed to do as a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I mean, it's actually
fascinating.
It is a spiritual tradition that's very, very old,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe from the Middle East, but there's a lot of good books. So just understand, it's not just personality.
He's put it in the chat.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And so that'll really help you guys. And remember, your fixation will be your fixation until the day you die. Your Enneagram type, we all have all the types within us, but your fixation is always your fixation. For example, the 7, joy is the fixation. So joy is the blessing and the curse. Joy is wonderful. I love to be happy, but what's the curse? Because I always need to be happy, I'm always jumping around. I'm not letting the rest of me be. My wholeness, my completeness.
For a 5, knowledge becomes a substitute for real living.
Exactly. A 5 is not actually having any experiences. They're thinking about their experiences.
Like my favorite experiences, one of my favorite experiences as a teenager was to spend all day in the library.
Can you imagine?
Very quiet.
I'd rather stick needles in my eyes, wouldn't you? I mean,
but, you know, that was my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like, anyway, so shall we go to questions? I mean, I would like to.
yeah, totally. We got 21 questions.
Yeah.
They better be smart questions.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right. Well, we covered that. So, I see how it's going here. Okay. Did you say something about type 1? When you're going over the
You're
types?
a perfectionist. What do you want? What do they want to know about the 1?
Well, you were giving advice on what they could do, like the 5 needs to take action.
Yeah, I think the most, yes, you know, what a 1 needs to do is notice your tendency to, that critical inner voice, your tendency to want to perfect, and notice how you always are noticing what's imperfect before you notice what's perfect. So what a 1 should do really is always, you're going to naturally see the imperfection, but then also see the perfection. Allow yourself that extra second to notice what's perfect too.
Well,
you know,
the seeing the perfection, which is an automatic thing for 1, leads to
imperfection.
I'm sorry, yeah, imperfection. Thanks.
Yeah,
leads to tension,
immeasurable stress.
So you see, as soon as you as a 1 can see that you're automatically noticing the imperfections, you know, then you will notice you're creating tension for yourself. And as Ananda pointed out, I mean, literally a 1 could go into a room and see what's wrong.
And they're brilliant. They'll be brilliant people because in business and in life, because they can pick up what needs to be fixed. So they're always fixing.
You could correct that, like she said, by looking for the perfections or the really good, beautiful things in the room, you see, as an antidote to your natural tendency to look for flaws.
Yes, and the other thing, remembering the 1 is not only looking outside of them, their critical voice is very much internal.
Exactly.
I'm wrong. I should have done this better. I should have done this better. I should have done that. Now that's that voice, you know, and so it's very stressful.
Yeah, that's the first one who's imperfect is you.
Yeah.
And that's what you just want to see, and you're doing a good torture job on yourself.
Yeah, so you need to notice that and try and drop it as often as you can.
Okay, let's look at this question about the shadow. So why do you have to integrate the shadow and not just accept it, or is it the same thing? It sounds like a discipline and pushing yourself. No, you're not pushing. Your shadow's right here.
It's going to come up naturally. You don't have to effort it.
Yeah, if you're doing what we're talking about, which is not just laying around, but actually challenging yourself a little bit, then what's going to happen is your shadow's going to show up.
To say there's no shadow is like to say I never get sad, I never get depressed, I never get angry, I'm always just happy and everything's always fine. Your shadow are those things that you feel, that you don't feel comfortable with feeling, and then you judge yourself for feeling them. And it's about allowing the feelings to come and go, and that's integrating the shadow. Now, it doesn't mean you have to now go and feel your shadow.
It's what we already said.
When it comes up, it's about seeing it.
We already described what to do. We already said the shadow is this crap, the stuff you don't like, that's your shadow.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go looking for it. It's showing up all day long. And so yes, it is acceptance, but it's an active, conscious acceptance. It's a willingness to go deeper into the darkness that you are detecting in yourself, to fundamentally not be in denial of your darkness, of your shadow. Otherwise, what human beings really tend to do is project it onto somebody else.
All the time.
That's the
biggest problem.
We need to mention that because,
look at your projections. Look at the way you are projecting your own take on reality.
Yeah, you're going to tend to project your shadow on others. And sometimes what we do when people also like to give their power away, especially to an authority, then we project what you call our golden shadow on them and say, look how great they are, but I'm still a piece of crap.
I'm bowing down to the guru now. They're so incredible. What are you doing? You're projecting you're projecting your light, your power onto the guru.
Yeah, this is shadow work also. It's called shadow work because it's not, it's hard work.
You need to own your own sense of power. Now, as a collective, when we look at the shadow, what do we see? Let's just take our whole collective consciousness, or the collective consciousness of, for example, a country. If we don't admit that we have a shadow, and we don't admit that we have weaknesses, problems, that we're not always perfect, what do we do then? We project the shadow on another country. They're weak, they're bad, they're pathetic. What are we going to do then? We're going to attack them, because we have to keep our power. We have to keep up our sense of perfection, that only we are strong and mighty and right. Because, and so the more people don't own their shadow, then what happens is we manifest the shadow in reality as an event. Which is why people should wake up, which is why we not only need you to awaken and get this job done, but we need you to tell your friends to awaken. And we need you to get us students, because we're not on social media. Help us help people. Mm-hmm. Because this is where it's going. If people don't start thinking for themselves.
Yeah, the process with RASA will get you awakened. What we're talking about is then what do you do with it? And that is very much, as Ananda is saying, an individual matter. But if you really care, there's all kinds of...
Yeah, that's my sales pitch.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and the other thing I wanted to tell people is Ramaji and I have, actually more Ramaji than I, because I'm busy with my own book. And this is his book. So this is the new 1000 book. And I think the only difference, if you were to ask me what they are, is different LOCs.
We've added 200 LOCs for teachers.
Because they're different teachers, and a lot, like, for example, Idea Shanti's 100% at 1000. Anyone who can make the quote, enlightenment is the most destructive process, and that it's got nothing to do with joy or happiness, it's only about destruction, to me is at 1000 else. You couldn't possibly write that. You have to get that.
Joy and happiness may arise after destruction.
Yeah, but it's a process that is, because why is it destructive? Because you're dropping all these beliefs that you're holding on to.
All the beliefs are false, every single one. There's no belief to hold on to that's a good one and that's right or true.
You cannot allow yourself the luxury of believing your thoughts anymore.
You want to do something based on this satsang, then start looking at every single belief you have.
Burn them.
And get rid of it. Dump it, burn
like
it.
Like Brian Burdine. I don't even know why you're here. I'm so angry with you. I really am. I'm pissed off as hell with Brian. Way too long.
Well, he does
he totally gets it. I love him to death. I love Brian, but he's a typical 6.
Good-looking guy,
Everything's
very
typical.
Sexy, rich guy.
Skeptical, typical 6.
Has no problem.
He's an absolute genius. Oh gosh.
But he still moans.
Stone moaning.
Just, yeah.
I shouted a lot of you today, yeah, you know, but I'm not going to. Victor, another one, you know, but Victor's he's getting this. He's come a long way.
I think he's on the other side.
Yeah.
Of it now. But yeah, I mean, you know, as Victor could attest, I mean,
he's been through mass destruction.
Well, yeah, and of course, in the middle of this destruction, you're just basically going, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
You know. But then when you do, and it is quote unquote karmic for whatever that means. But when you come out on the other side of it, which could be 1, 2, 3, even maybe 4 years for some people, maybe longer, but usually I think within that span of time, then you begin to get it.
Yeah.
Because you didn't even know the burden you were carrying. You didn't know you were carrying 100 pounds of shit. And now that shit's getting cleared, and it's getting cleared quickly and very intensely, basically at the level of your capacity to clear it. And you're like, oh my God, this totally sucks. But when the clearing's over, just like, you know, when you've had a really good poop and it's gone and you feel better. Okay, it's ugly, poop is ugly, but when it's gone, you're like, thank God.
Yeah, and then you're current. And why is this so important? Because when you become current, there is another opening that takes place.
Right.
And that is something you will each have to experience for yourself.
And would you call that the opening of being authentic? Being authentic?
Well, Mom, even more. It's that's where for me it's like you preparing your vessel so that your vessel can hold a lot of light, a lot of love.
Would you describe it as openness, like real openness?
Yes.
Okay, I would describe it that way too.
Yes. I don't like to use words that are like loaded with too much shit.
No.
You know.
Okay. Yes, a few do open the heart first. It's and you see that more in other cultures.
And you see that more in Enneagram types. A feeling type is probably going to choose.
Very good point.
You know, a 5 will be the mind first. You know, and you know, so you just have to look at the types, and you'll kind of know why the heart.
But in this culture, because it's intellectual,
yeah,
you know, and values the mind so much, they tend to be.
I made up a quote.
Oh yes, this is a good one.
Quote. A genius. I'm a genius in the making. What was the quote? Oh, hold on. I wrote it to somebody yesterday. Smart people love to learn. Wise people learn to love.
It's a good one. It's a keeper.
And that's mine.
That should be a meme. You should send that around as a meme. Or somebody else can too. Oh.
And guys, write down your ideas. If you feel inspired, do what you're inspired to do.
I tell everybody to keep a journal. I mean, you know, write it down, whatever happened, what your perspective is, what's going on, put a date on it. You'll be amazed at your progress. You
don't even have any idea how powerful, special, limitless you are. And when you own that, you are going to feel so good about yourselves, truly, because that's your destiny. That's your birthright.
Okay, I want to go on to this question. What do you do when you're trapped in the mind? You want to get out, but you know that will to get out is what gives you more suffering. I'm sorry.
Let me see. Whoa.
The whole concept of being trapped in the mind in the first place. What is that? What do you mean you're trapped?
Who's trapped in the mind, I guess?
The moment is now. You know, so you want to get out, you have the will to get out. No, it doesn't give you more suffering. What gives you more suffering is all these stupid concepts.
The thoughts you're having that you're suffering because of your mind.
There's nothing wrong with the now. It's perfect regardless of what it looks like, feels like, sounds like, smells like, and tastes like. It doesn't matter. It's perfect exactly as it is. Get that through your thick skull. It's perfect as it is. As soon as you can accept that. You see, the mind wants to go, it's not perfect, it's this, it's that, it's the other thing, I'm suffering, this will lead to that. No, stop.
And if you are suffering, then suffer with the mind until you finish suffering with the mind.
And you realize you're not the mind. So even if the mind's suffering, you're not suffering because you're not the mind.
Or just suffer fully until it passes. And then you'll notice it's just going to pass into the next thing.
It kind of sounds like you kind of like your suffering. Frankly.
Yeah, but I think you're a 4.
No,
okay.
He's not a 4.
Maybe he's a 5.
He's not a 4. He's actually an 8.
Oh, is he an 8?
Yeah.
8s don't usually admit they're suffering.
Well,
I don't think
he's
you're
done a
innate.
lot. He's done a lot of good. Yes, he is. He's
It's
done a
not
lot.
innate.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
Okay.
it's not innate. Yes.
All right. Whatever.
Okay, so
All right. So next question. When with RASA all karma is clear, does this mean that anything that comes into my life after that fits into my real nature? We didn't say that with RASA all karma is cleared. I've never said that, and I hope we've never said it.
I've never said that
No,
either.
no, we don't even like to use the word karma that much.
Even karma is a concept.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. You could think you have a destiny to have a certain karma, and you could actually create it that
You'll
way.
create it. Just drop karma.
We're talking about dropping all of the freaking concepts, every single belief, concept, system, theory, map, except of course my book, the 1,000 books.
Yeah, and we want you to order
Hold on to
and
that.
write a beautiful, what's it called? When somebody writes a testimonial, you know, we could use that, guys.
Okay, so understanding
You know?
that what is cleared is, you could say, the I thought or the narcissistic root of the mind, which is resisting experience. That is what is cleared. So the karma that we have, the crap is basically due to our resisting life. So we're now going to stop resisting life. Now we're going to live life in the moment. Okay, so yes, what tends to happen over time is an optimization of our nature, a clarity, this clearing we're talking about, which leads to this openness where you're naturally open and fluid and spontaneous.
Yeah, but you're sounding like Jupiter.
Hey,
you know,
hey,
yeah.
Just let me say it, and then I'll.
He's got Jupiter in the first house.
You take it over.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, yes, stuff is going to happen. In other words, here's the picture. You awaken. There's a phase of clearing out shit, which for some people is short, for some people is medium or long. When that phase is over, which we're talking about 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, realistically, we don't know. You are awakened and you are benefiting from that, but you're having to clear out this shit, subconscious, past lives, whatever. Okay, then now that you're clear, now it's more like what you're saying. Yes, then the karma, the things that show up are very appropriate to your life. They fit your true nature. You've cleared out the stuff that was in the way, inner and outer. Okay, and then yes, you're right. Now you're living in alignment, in harmony with your true self.
I just want to say something else to Bogomil. If he is innate, then the best thing for you to do is to meditate 15 minutes quietly every single day. Because then I think that what's going on then is you're not really in touch with your essence. The essence is not the mind. So you need to establish more and more time in that gap. And then the mind will slow down.
What he's talking about, but he's not actually mentioning, is the fact that he does things that he then regrets later. Like, you know.
Oh, his spontaneity, you know.
In other words, he's a boss. He runs a company and he bosses people around, sometimes a little too aggressively. And
no, that's just your eightness.
Yeah, and so he regrets it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
The way around that is actually to tell people how you truly feel. Like, so instead of bossing them around, it's usually because what you're actually feeling is you're feeling threatened and vulnerable. So you want to kind of establish yourself as an authority and the boss. So rather say, wow, you know, guys, at the moment I'm feeling a little vulnerable about that, and talk about how you feel versus giving your demands or being needing to feel that you have to be the boss, and you'll get a lot more positive feedback from the people you're working with. It's only because you don't want to admit your vulnerabilities if you're innate.
Yes, thank you, Bogomil. Thank you for letting us talk about you. Okay, so could you say something about craving for sex versus authentic relationship?
Thanks, Sebastian.
Yeah, thank you. Well, come on. Really?
Oh God, I crave sex in an authentic relationship. Who doesn't?
Well, we're talking
Why
about,
is that a problem?
How about having an authentic relationship where you crave sex?
Yeah.
Why are the two mutually exclusive? I'm not really understanding that. If it's a good intimate relationship, then sex is going to be a part of it usually. And
what is the question? Could you say something about craving for sex?
Well, craving for sex, you know, like it's like this whole thing of masturbation to porn on the internet and all of that. What is that? It's essentially an avoidance of vulnerability.
But that's not really a problem. I mean, Is it a problem?
They're avoiding intimacy. They're avoiding vulnerability. They're not going into their heart. It's very convenient to do that.
Hold on. You see, the problem is that it's not really our fault.
Or why don't you use the person as an object?
No, what I say is it's overstimulation of the second chakra. And we live in a society that, because of social media and because of the amount of porn that's available so easily on YouTube and everywhere else, it's easy to just watch something and masturbate. It really is. It takes much more effort to actually go out and ask a woman on a date and try.
It's phony. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's phony. It doesn't necessarily, but it's not necessarily wrong per se. It's just if you step out of your comfort zone and you actually go out and you make the effort to get to know, interconnect, and meet somebody, your relationship will be more fulfilling.
Authentic relationship, in short, in brief definition, is heart-centered.
Yes.
So if you have an authentic relationship, you have it heart-centered, and then you're probably, assuming you have sexual desire for each other, which is a good sign of a real relationship, then you will have to work with your sexual desires to up-level them from the heart, so that you don't push, on the person. You don't basically try to control the person to get sex from them. You're willing to respect them, make sure it's 100% consensual, and you both have to verbalize what you really want and what you really don't want. So there can be a lot of work once you actually have a heart-centered, authentic relationship in order to integrate the sex into it by being real about the sex, not being demanding, but making it a loving act, which, by the way, makes it even better.
I also want to add that it's funny because so many students that we talk to, this comes up, and a lot of it again has to do with the way this has been taught in the past. In other words, monks are celibate, but you just have to look at, you see, that's another issue that's in the shadow. Our sex drive is a bad thing. And for example, all the priests at the Vatican were basically raping and killing and God knows what else they're doing to these little boys. Why? Because they are perceiving their sexuality as being a problem, and they're not admitting that they're actually sexual beings. So it's in the shadow. And that gets bigger and bigger until there is a manifestation of that shadow, something happens. So the minute you can admit to yourself, it's projecting. Exactly. So you need to own. That's what I mean by own. I'm uncomfortable with my sexuality. I love to masturbate all the time. Whatever it may be, it really doesn't matter. These are normal, your sex.
Are you saying that you love to masturbate all the time? Is that what you just said?
No, I don't love to masturbate all the time. I may love to masturbate sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm saying is, the need to our sex drive is basically our life force.
Totally.
That is the life force. So to avoid it, to not let your sexuality flow, is denying yourself your own life force, because it's the root chakra.
Well, and it's the second chakra, and it's the first and the second.
That's the flow. And
it's incredibly interconnected with your ability to be emotionally alive. Sexual aliveness and emotional aliveness are intertwined. So when people are suppressing their sex desire or thinking it's wrong or bad, guess what's happening with their emotions? Same thing.
Yeah, you're suppressing them.
And when you open up the sexuality, you open up the emotion. Guess what? That's why people are afraid of really being sexual. Not because it's bad, or maybe that's why it's thought of bad, because it can awaken the primal self, awaken the passion, awaken the desire. Now I really want something. Now I'm really going to be maybe a problem because my desire is so big, my emotions are so huge, and I'm no longer just walking around going, yeah, it's nice weather, isn't it? Isn't it nice weather? Yeah, we're good. You're good. I'm good. Okay. And instead you start becoming very real, and you start being a challenge to other people. You're sexually alive. Your body is alive. Your emotions are alive. You're passionate, and you want something. Okay, this makes you a difficult person to deal with.
The other thing is that an awakened human being, because we're rare, and we're no longer sheep. It means that we are basically doing things that other people, and it's so easy to fall into the trap of just following. But when you're being yourself, it means you're going to be doing things that other people sometimes don't do, and saying things that other people some say. You're being your original self.
You're 100% original.
And you don't give a shit whether you fit in or don't.
No.
Or people like you or don't.
You're dangerous, actually. You're
you
not
know, because
dangerous.
you're being you, but not from a place of being a big deal, but from a place of really just being. It's your beingness. You're allowed to be you. You're
Just
meant to be.
being awakened, you're helping other people wake up too. They're not going to be able to sleep quite so easily as they are right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Why would someone's LOC change from the first edition to the revised? Well, some people do go up organically and naturally.
Of course.
And then the other thing is Ananda and I discuss LOCs, and so I've reevaluated some LOCs, and some of the LOCs I had information that turned out to be wrong. I made judgments based on those. So
our way of evaluating LOCs has shifted dramatically. The way we've structured the business has significantly changed as well. So there's a different kind of feel, but it's only in the beginning of the ends, of the book. And I think that, that's really the difference.
Well,
isn't it?
the criteria for a person, see, the bottom line, as one of the things we added to the book is to clarify what's most important in terms of LOCs. What's most important is to understand either you're awakened or you're not. Either you're in the probably 560s, 70s, 80s, maybe 590s, or you're in the 600s or up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the first thing. Ask the question, do you really think they're awakened or not? Are they below or above 600?
And you're your own guru, so you better know that.
And then, are they 600s, 700s, 800s, 900s, or 1,000? That's it. You don't have to know, are they 742 versus 756? Just, and the data is the same. The perspective is the same. 600s teachers are similar, 700s a teacher, 700s are similar, et cetera. 800s are similar. Matt Kahn's in the 800s. He's all talking about love all the time. Love, 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 love.
I get it. Why though?
Which is beautiful. We totally agree.
Love is
love what is
go,
arising. Absolutely. But you can tell right away. You don't even have to, you don't have to be psychic. You can just tell. He's talking about love and bliss all the time. That's what that is. That's 800s.
The 700s or 800s.
Well, that's 800s to me. So anyway, so that's what, in the other, so for the most part, it's not about people going up, although a few did, but it's mainly our new standards for evaluating. I had Audiya Shanti below, and I don't know why, but I do see him now at 1,000. So that was me. So some of that's Ananda's influence, but it's only in terms of us having many discussions and me doing a lot of reflection in terms of just kind of all kinds of new nuances about LOCs. And we really nowadays don't really even like doing it from a book or video. We really emphasize now face-to-face, like having a session, being one-on-one. It's really hard because we have found it's very hard for people to accurately assess LOCs, much harder than we thought. Okay, with regards to burning positive beliefs, here's the thing. I don't know, you may have a different view. To me, I would burn everything, because if you don't have the attitude of burning everything, then what's going to happen is you're going to hold on to a whole bunch of stuff. So what you do is you literally do burn every single thing, okay? Because a belief is still a belief. It's a mind construct. However, the good stuff, the stuff that is good for you and harmonious and supportive for you will come back.
Well, that's the thing. Then you get to focus on a belief that serves you right now. Yeah. And then the next one that serves you right now. Then you're acting on inspiration and positivity. Ultimately, even the belief that you have no beliefs is still a belief. We can't help it. We're going to believe something, but get empty out. Empty.
So you burn up all the beliefs, yes. And then what you find is you have certain operational beliefs that are very functional and useful for you. And there's no need to get rid of those, So yes, okay.
And that's the beauty. You get to focus on what you want to believe.
Yeah, you're no longer,
because it's just a belief.
Yeah, you're free of believing in beliefs.
It's like you can see that it's a story and a belief, but you're still going to have them. So you pick one that you want to believe.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm going to see colors no matter what, when I look. So why not believe it's beautiful?
Is that possible for a person to get enlightened through doing spiritual practices? I'm sure it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
RASA speeds things up and helps a person clear out things that they might not have blind spots towards. Greatly accelerates it in most cases, but absolutely meditation, mantra, prayer, tons of examples of people getting awakened. Now, finishing and going to 1,000 is just rare, period. And that's kind of a little bit different. I think we really need help of another human being who is already there in order to really finish. Coolest psychic powers out there. Dude,
I think yeah, that's whatever's cool
We're
for you.
not into psychic powers.
Everybody everybody has got is psychic. Everybody, your intuition is your power. What do you know? What do you sense? You know, the thing is, we're so used to thinking and we don't actually trust our own gut, our own intuition.
Well, yeah.
The minute you drop the thoughts, you'll find you're very psychic.
Look at
Have you ever just like thought about somebody and then they call you? Or like, you know, like these bizarre things happen. We're not even paying attention to our actual lives because we're thinking about them. You know, as soon as you drop all that, then your own intuitive or psychic abilities will manifest because we all have them. It's just psychic's just another loaded word though. It's actually our senses and our sixth senses, which everybody has.
So the answer to your question is for you to study yourself and know what your natural psychic abilities are, because they really vary. Some people are good at predicting, other people are clairvoyant, clairaudient, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to find out, you know, what is your unique gifts. You're not going to be everything, but you're probably good at certain kinds of psychic or intuitive ability. How being in a question is on how being in a relationship can enhance your process. I've been stuck in the need to do it alone, which is old programming. Well,
you're not really doing it alone because you're here with us.
Yeah, well, he means a relationship,
Yeah.
a relationship.
Yeah.
I would say if I would say if you have this old programming, you're probably afraid of being in a relationship. And if you clear that out, you will attract one. I would say just go out and meet people.
Yeah. Just,
you know, go where people are, go with friends, go by yourself, overcome your shyness or your fear.
Yeah.
And
do things that you like. For example, if you are a seeker, then like you can do a meetup with meditators that meet on the beach once a week. You know, you'd be surprised how many people are actually going through something similar. And the minute you put yourself out there, you'll meet tons of people.
Yeah, you could start a meetup about people who are needing to do it alone and don't want to. I mean, you know,
yeah, you know,
you could have a meetup of lonely people and whatever. But really, the benefit of the relationship also, which is in your question, is
feedback.
It's very hard to fool yourself when you got somebody
a challenge on the
yeah, the two of us, you know, I'm a 5, but I can be hell on wheels in terms of challenging her, because she'll challenge me and I'll fire right back, right? I mean, pretty much usually. So we dish it out with each other, and we really, really have very low tolerance for any kind of bullshit or anything. So we're busting each other all day long, or often.
Not often, you know, not all day
on a regular
long.
basis. So yes, you know, there's a famous story about Socrates, real quickly, that his wife was a real bitch, and they asked him, "Why are you with her?" And
Are they going to think that I'm a bitch?
No, baby, I'm not saying you're a bitch. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I'm
You're
sorry.
going to hurt my feelings.
I didn't mean it like that. God, I'm just trying to tell a story about Socrates. Okay. No, you're not a bitch.
So this is not because I'm a bitch.
No.
No.
No. Oh boy. Okay.
That's the Sag moon. It's the Sag moon. You know, you're like, yeah.
But anyway, the point was, he said, the reason I'm with her is because she finds everything in me, you know, that needs work on. You know, she exposes all my blind spots, and for that reason, she's worth her weight in gold. So I would say the same about Ananda Devi. Just it's not that she's a bitch, but that she sees things very, very clearly, and really helps me that way. I mean, it's amazing how I've grown since I met her, because in my old relationship, it was not that way. I mean, this person did not really care about truth and didn't really confront me and wasn't being honest with me. So.
But that's, you know, guys, if you will meet the right person for you, if you give yourselves the chance and you do things differently, not differently, if you are yourselves, you will attract who you are to you. You know, and life is not about being afraid of having a bad relationship, because even I've had so many shockingly bad relationships. I couldn't even, you've just got no idea. You know, I could write a book about everything that has gone wrong. in my past relationships and marriages. But I can tell you that if I hadn't had those experiences, I don't think I would have appreciated someone like Ramaji. You know,
Same
so
here.
everything leads us to the next thing. So
Same
it's only
here.
like it's only fear of the experience itself that's the problem. Don't be afraid of experience. Don't be afraid of anything. There's nothing to be afraid of. People are not even afraid of dying. They're afraid of living. Live your lives.
I can look back at every one of my bad, serious relationships, everyone that went south on me, and there was a lesson in every single one.
Yeah.
So it'd be like there was a little diamond lesson in every single one, and then I just kept up-leveling, getting more and more clear in my relationships, and then I graduated from the last one. And because of everything I learned and everything and how I was changed, I began to appreciate and also my own deserving deepened. I felt, okay, finally I was ready to have a really great relationship, a fantastic relationship. And because I felt I deserved it now. I was finally ready for it after all that time and all the wrong people. And then I met Ananda. So, I mean, I could recognize it with Ananda, and, you can't even really put it in words, this person is the person. And I was looking for her all my whole life from when I was 16.
And he's at 4. You can tell now he's going into his like 4 romantic side. Now he can sing a love song, because he's got that 4-ness, that feelies thing.
Well, I'm making up for the bitch thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to be
so
slick.
That's so sweet. But I mean, I think these people probably will have a life and want to go live it. What's the time?
Baby, we're good. We're good.
Oh, okay.
We're good. Okay, so.
Why does it feel like time's going so slowly?
I don't know.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, are there not cases of people being awake but not knowing it, or people being much more awakened than they thought they were? Of course. And one of the reasons for the coaching one-on-one thing is we give you feedback every single time. The problem here is they don't have feedback. We've had many people show up who are in the 600s, high 600s, and they're confused because
it's very confusing.
They haven't had anybody validate their awakening and clarify that, yes, you're awakened, but you're not done. So yeah, it happens a lot, actually. We've had quite a few people show up that would be technically they're awakened, but they're
not quite finished, but close.
The process that they were in, that certain, let's say, meditation for years had gotten them to that point, but there were no teachers around them that they could go to and say, hey, I really feel I'm awakened now, but there's this and that.
And I don't want them to feel like we're running other teachers down. There's so much room for all sorts of teachings. I love all teachers. And I mean, I don't listen to teachers anymore. I used to back in the day. But I want you guys to realize you're the teachers. There's nothing to teach. So, at the end of the day, so you really have to own your process and be the truth and validate your own selves now. It's time, this is how the world's changing. You need to know who you are.
The opportunity to awaken now, whether you're involved with us in RASA or not, is astronomically enhanced. Geometrically expanded at this time. There's something going on the planet, we believe, which if you really want to awaken, it'll be much easier and faster for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some question. What do you think happens to the subjective continuum when the body of a LOC 1000 person dies? Okay, I can give you my opinion, which is there is what I call transcendental individuality. Okay, in other words, you're going to continue on. Who you are is going to continue onto another dimension, onto another planet. And that's just how it is. You're not going to go into the soup. You're not going to lose what you've done or who you are.
You never lose your spiritual attainment.
No. I've had experiences of contact with Nisargadatta Maharaj and Ramana Maharshi and all those guys. And to me, they're all the same.
Besides which, where are you going to go?
As they were before. Yeah, where are you going to go?
Yeah. And I really mean that,
So there is no death.
Death is the biggest illusion of all.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, we did all these, I think. Yes, let's go to the bottom now, see what we got. Path between us from Susan Stabile. Oh, yeah.
The road back to you. She's wonderful.
Yeah, these are good Enneagram books.
These are great Enneagram books, you guys. That's great for relationship also. The path between us, and that's also got snap work in it, which is good.
Yeah, the path between us and the road back to you, both good Enneagram
Thanks,
books.
Marika.
Yeah. This person says, since finding this relationship 8 weeks ago, we are increasingly accelerating through shadow shit.
Mm-hmm.
Be open and raw to it all. Anything works, surely. Well, I would say if you're new to this, I'd say sit and meditate together.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have beautiful experiences together.
Mm-hmm.
Hang out, go to nature, have fun things, do lots of fun things. It isn't all about raw work. Really, it's
only
like,
if it comes up. You know, the thing is not to force it; it's to notice it.
yeah. When you do finally arrive at an authentic relationship with someone, it tends to have a life of its own. So you don't really have to look for it.
You're going to be yourself.
You are just naturally going to help each other awaken. That's what a good, healthy, intimate relationship will do. You actually won't let each other fall asleep.
Remember, if you love somebody, if you truly love somebody, you want for that person what they want for them, not what you want for them. What you want for them is trying to control them. What they want for them is their birthright. That's their freedom. And that's how you are free in a relationship. You're not trying to control how this person needs to think and be and what you think is right or wrong. You can have your own personal standards for yourself, but stop trying to control everybody else. And that's a huge lesson I had to learn. I'm an 8 because I love to control everything and everyone. So that was part of my process, letting go. And I have triplets. I had to let go of, oh my God, you've just got no idea. So, yeah. So again, you love someone, you want for them what they want for them.
Yeah, that's a really great question. If you're having conflict with somebody, anybody, just ask yourself, do I want for them what they want for themselves? And more often than not, you will find you have a battle of wills, which you may feel at the third chakra in the gut, and you're actually opposing what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can accept this is what they want, whatever it may be.
It's not easy.
Then
it's not supposed to
your
be.
resistance of them goes away, and things go much better between you because they were sensing that judgment or that resistance from you. And when it goes away, all of a sudden, basically, they feel loved by you. And when that happens, of course, things go better. Things open up, and the problem may actually disappear on its own.
And stop acting for each other. Be yourselves.
Yeah.
The thing is lots of spiritual posing, with posing, spiritual people posing. I'm so spiritual and, oh my God, I'm one with the river. Really? Yes, you are one with the river, but just be.
Okay, we have an interesting Enneagram question here. Would there be 1,000 type 2, Enneagram type 2 teachers out there that would be more inclined to talk about love a lot as if they're an 800s teacher? And my answer would be, I don't think so. I think being at 1,000 really means you don't have an agenda, and you're not even thinking of yourself as a spiritual teacher. You're just responding in the moment, and you don't even really care about being a spiritual teacher or about spiritual teaching or about any of that stuff. Now, you might talk about love. I mean, we talk about love a lot, and we're not.
Love is where love is always
it's more
here.
like how they talk about it, like the 800s. You can just see that they've kind of, I mean, not that there's really anything wrong with it, because we do need more love, of course, but they've kind of made it an end in itself. Whereas the 1,000, we talk about love a lot, but we're really saying the most important thing is to live authentically and in the now, let go of all of your beliefs. That would even mean believing in love per se, believing in anything. I mean, in a certain way.
But yet this love is the essence of what you are.
Well, your beliefs about love.
It's exactly. It's the
which will limit love.
It has to arise in you, and it will, and it does. In fact, even your suffering is love. And I know it sounds very strange. And the reason Ramaji and I don't go there too much is because it's not something you can teach. It's something that you are transmitting by being with the student. It's something that you are. It's not something that you can speak of. I mean, I sit with whoever I'm sitting with, and I love them, and they know I love them. There's no question. I don't have to tell them I love them. Why do I love them? I love them because I'm listening to them. I'm there and I hear them. and it's just a knowingness that I share with them. You know, that's how, that's why we do this. Not because I'm teaching you anything you aren't already. I'm just mirroring your perfection back at you. That's all.
Well, yeah, claiming your perfection means, I mean, it'd be like, let's say I was a billionaire. Does that mean I have no interest in making more money? No, it's increased my capacity to make more money. So awakening means you can become, in a certain sense, you can, there's just so much more you can do.
Yeah, it's just like the knowing that as you are is this love, regardless of what comes up and seems like it isn't, you know. And again, it's not a teaching. You can't teach it. You have to live it.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they say the journey is the destination. You know, the obstacles are the path.
And that's where,
you know, why do you think they've these quotes? You read quotes from masters. The quotes, it's all there. You know, it's a one-liner, you know.
Okay, what would you say to your 20-year-old self? Now, what I would say is keep going, it's worth it.
What I would say is, God help you, my girl, you know, and I wish you'll be okay, I hope. You know, no, I'm kidding. Or maybe I would, you know, yeah.
What do you say to a 20-year-old? I really don't know. I mean, you know.
To my 10-year, I often think of my 10-year-old self. I take her in my arms. I'm like, oh my God, poor thing. You know, but no, that's the way that the world has worked for me. I would say
it's going to work out. It's going to clear up. Just, you know, keeping on like that. Okay, if there's no death, then there's really no birth either, right? Well, see, that's an interesting statement.
Well, why even think about all that though? You know, no death and no birth. Isn't that just more bullshit?
That's one of those statements, and, you know, classic statements. And the answer is, see, when we're saying there's no death, I didn't say there was no death. You're going to die. The body is going to die. So there's death.
Awareness is what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, there is death. So there was birth.
Or the knowingness of your beingness is what.
But what's going to happen is who and what you really are. It will continue.
Your essence.
So in that sense, there's no birth and no death. But I think it's much more useful to accept that there will be death of the body, and who knows what happens next after that. And so you better make the best of today, if not this hour, if not this minute, if not this second. I mean, I think that's the point of death. The main point of death is, hey, you don't have a million years. Mm-hmm. This is it now.
But that's the typical kind of question that starts to become the biggest mind fuck.
Yeah. See, that's
it takes
that's
us
what we're
into
talking
thinking.
About. Not that it's not a bad question.
Not bad at all.
We've heard that exact concept before. Well, see, that's a different question. Who are we essentially is a different question.
Well, that you ask. Find out. Do your own self-inquiry. Who am I?
That you find out by investigating yourself, you see.
That's
we can use words: essence, soul, true self, self-related, you know, the self, capital S. It's all about your own experience of that, of yourself. What are you essentially, existentially, prior to thought, without thought? What are you directly right now?
What happens when you drop all your hope? What is here?
Oh, yeah.
Just drop it.
No more hope, no more concepts that are going to help you.
Drop it all.
See, using concepts is a form of hope. You're just hoping that one of these thoughts, one of these concepts, one of these beliefs, one of these metaphors, one of these models will do it. Ain't going to do it. Because why? Because it's here now. What you are is here right now. Except going into thoughts takes you out of who and what you are right now. That's why they say it's the easiest thing and it's the most difficult thing. It's the fastest thing and it's the slowest thing, because it's right here. If it's not here, it's not anywhere. It's right here. And basically we take these trips in the mind. Okay.
I want to pee.
All right. Well, okay. Be yourself. Yeah.
I'm going to go to the ladies' room, everybody.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's take a little break. So let's take a 2-minute break, because we're going to transition to giving the RASA. Thank you, everybody, for all of your questions. We deeply appreciate that you asked questions. And we hope that we answered them well and showed you due respect. If not, then sorry, but we love you and thank you for, being here. We really appreciate it. Yeah, it really is about your direct, personal, unique experience, which is right now, right here. This is it. No concepts. Sometimes I tell people to live in the five senses. In other words, they're trying to figure out what this is all about, you know, sahaja, natural state. I said, be like your pet cat or dog. You're just in your five senses, you know, all day long. And then if you go up into your head, into thinking, come back to the five senses: seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling. Your body's always in contact with something all the time. So and the body is always in the now. It's always in the here and now, in the present. So if you're in your body with your body, you're going to be here and now. You know, if you're up here, you're not here and now. Yeah, pretty simple. So largely a function of desire. How much do you want it? Yeah, listen, I'm a big kid. I mean, I had somebody, I don't think he's here on the webinar, but there was an occasion where me and Ananda spent a whole week with Ramaji and a guy named Jason. They're both at 1,000 now and have been for a while. And anyway, after spending 3 days with me, Jason said, "You're just a big kid. You know, you just say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do. You're just like," and I said, "Yeah." And it was like such a revelation for him. By the end of the week, he was a different person. And by the fourth day, he was telling me what to do. He was like saying, "Hey, you should," and we were just laughing because he went from being this kind of quiet guy, you know, very controlled, to all of a sudden bossing me around and just really being his bad self. And, you know, it was beautiful. And that's what we're talking about. You know, you take the cover off, the pressure cooker off, and you start to really live in this genuine, open-hearted way, spontaneous, you know, like a little child. I don't know anything better. I really don't. Thank you for that. Those are good times. Garaji, thank you so much for that. Enlightenment and dementia. Well, you know, the experience in this dimension is based on the brain. And they're really, I think RASA can help the brain if dementia or something like that is happening. But you know, obviously I cannot claim that it does healing. That is not legal. But it wouldn't hurt your brain to get RASA if you have brain problems. But no, there's a number of cases of somebody who was definitely very awakened or enlightened, and something happened to their brain, say a stroke, and you know, they're really not able to function and communicate. So the spirit is still there, but you know, without the brain working properly, it's very hard to communicate. In this case, the case I'm thinking of was a Buddhist master, and he had a stroke and he couldn't talk after that, but he was still alive for a long time.
The women's group, you guys, as well, if you're a woman.
Yeah, women's group is what?
On Wednesday.
31st?
The throat chakra, you know, and it's such an important one, you know. It's actually the first one that
Wednesday, the 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in that. And then we're watching a movie called, what's it called?
It's on Netflix. It's called
Hack.
The Great Hack, I think.
The Great Hack. I'm finding it really good. I don't know if any of you have watched any movies.
It's about social media mind control, basically.
Really interesting.
Getting into
The Great Hack, yeah.
I think it's 10 o'clock Pacific time for the women's group. You know, are you going to be going to it, David? Okay, yeah. So is it at 10 a.m.? I'm sorry, what time is?
Yeah, it's at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Wednesday, which is on
31st.
Yeah. Whatever that is, that's the 31st. It's an important chakra, you know, because that is your voice. It's your truth. It's the energy that comes out of your voice. So important.
Okay. Anyway, It's a great group. I mean, I'm not there. I give Ross at the very end, but from what I'm hearing, you know, I mean, this opportunity for women to speak more openly and freely authentically and in a real way from their heart and what's really going on in their lives.
And to understand the chakras
Greater
differently.
opportunity for that
You
than
know.
any other group they've been in. Plus, it's combined with the knowledge of the chakras that Ananda teaches in a very practical, unique way. Not something you've heard before, even if you've read a bunch of books and whatever, you know. Okay,
So,
shall
yeah.
we do the rasa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure,
Okay,
everyone.
thanks for the great questions, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to turn that top light off.
Where's Gary G now?
Is he there?
He's fallen asleep on me. Okay, Gary, was it boring? I wasn't allowed to bore Gary.
Yeah.
No, it was great. Loved it.
Okay. Let me see.
Reading the book. I'm reading the book again. It's great.
Again, all right. Don't bullshit me, Gary G. Yeah, Gary. Don't never bullshit a bullshitter, dude.
No.
You didn't even read it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't even read it in the first place.
I read it the first time from page 1 to page 1,000. This time, I'm just getting the new stuff about Ananda Devi in the back. That's what I'm going right to the Ananda
He
Devi.
did add that, you know, it's funny. I only read that after it was almost about to be printed. I got quite a shock. Yeah, it was nice. Okay, so
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary G. Okay, so all right, so it's I guess we'll do 15 minutes in silence and just relax and receive like you're getting a suntan on the beach. And so we're going to mute ourselves now, and then we will see you in 15 minutes. So enjoy. Here we go with the group rasa.
That was your RASA, all our beautiful friends.
Oh, regarding the recording, assuming the recording went well, then we will be sending out a link. You are on the mailing list.
Don't hold your breath.
It'll
Take some time.
take a week.
We always get like, when am I getting my recording? So don't hold your breath for the recording, but it will come before the next satsang.
Well, the next week,
Yeah, next
2 weeks
2 weeks.
maximum, but I have a feeling it'll come out pretty quick. But you'll get a link, and then basically you can watch it for a month online, and then after people have had a chance or somebody missed it, they'll get the link also, and you can watch it as much as you want. Then after that, eventually it ends up on the store for sale, but you'll have all the time that you need to watch it. Okay, you're quite welcome. Thank you. I love the
We love you
questions.
guys. Give yourselves a big hug.
You guys are great. Yeah.
You know, we really do. You're such
give yourself
just
a big hug.
such wonderful, special, big hugs. I am me. Yay.
I am unique.
Give yourselves a big hug and love each other. Love yourselves.
Love yourself unconditionally. Totally approve of yourself always. Okay. Oh wow, look at all these people saying stuff.
They're saying thank you, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
I want
that's
to
a-
read them. I want to see what they're saying here.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hug from Hamburg. I like that. I like hamburgers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
I haven't been to
We
Hamburg.
don't actually eat hamburgers.
Have we been to Hamburg?
No, haven't been to Hamburg. We were in
It'll be on
Berlin.
my hit
No,
list.
we were in Munich
Yeah.
mainly.
Anyway, you're all beautiful people, and just
Yeah.
have the best rest of the weekend.
We'll come to Europe again, or hopefully next year, we'll see. But we do intend to come back. It went great. No, Ramaji doesn't have a men's group.
Yeah.
If men want Ramaji to have a men's group, then they need to email
If men
Ramaji.
need a woman's group. Men need a woman to teach men. That's what men need. You know, yeah.
Yeah,
But
a
yeah.
women's group, a men's group with all women except for that.
That's the irony, you know. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but we're not going to want to.
But seriously, I mean, I would do one if there was a real interest, but men tend to not actually want to get together the way the women are willing to. There's just something about the energy of women is more circular and more open, and men are kind of like, yeah,
I'm a macho man.
yeah, okay, whatever, dude.
You know.
I'm my own man.
I'm my own
you know.
man. But it's good. I mean, there's
But
nothing
it's
wrong with
cool.
that.
It's
all
what it
cool.
is, you know, it is what it is.
We need the male, you
But
know.
I will say this: I was in a women's group, men's group up in Portland, Oregon, years ago. It was an amazing experience because these men broke down and really showed themselves. I'll never forget it.
That's beautiful. That I like, you know.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all other thing.
But I think the men should learn about the chakras. You know.
Well, you know what we need to do? We're going to do a chakra thing of some kind. We've been talking about it for a year or more. That we have all.
The men need to learn about chakras properly. They need to understand women. You know.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, I mean.
No, hey, you tell
Yeah.
me, am I qualified to teach a group to men on how to understand it, women and be with them and have a relationship with them? What do you think?
Yeah.
You think I'm qualified for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if she says I am, then I am, I guarantee.
Yeah, he really is.
So I don't know. Again, if there's any interest in either one of us or the two of us together, you know, having a thing like this, doesn't have to call it a satsang, but you know, about any area of interest.
Yeah, always tell us what you're interested
Send an email to me
in talking
or to
about.
Ananda or both of us, and,
You know?
and we love to hear from you because we're here to give you what you want.
You need, what
and
you
what
feel
you-
you need.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
You know, we can talk on quite a lot of subjects because we've learned, I mean, not because we know anything, but really because we've spent an untold, it's actually because we don't know much, but it's because we do.
We
know, yeah,
know
but what
a
I meant
lot,
to say is,
actually.
I don't know, you know, it's just that I don't know what it is. I
I
guess
know,
we're perpetual
We're
students.
trying to be humble, but we're not. you know.
I'm humble.
Well, okay. I do
You
my
know, I
best
don't know
to-
about you.
I don't think I'm very humble. in
No,
spite
you're
of all
not
this.
actually that humble. You
I'm
know,
good
I
at
mean,
the-
but anyway, it is.
Good at acting.
Yeah,
like I'm humble.
yeah. But no, he is. What we mean to say is there are certain areas that we've learned a lot about. you know, because we've read a lot of books, done a lot of
Well,
study,
you know,
lived it,
twin flame,
you
your
know,
relationships and the whole twin flame thing, and you know,
been through a lot of shit in
bunch of
our own
stuff.
lives.
Anyway, let's let
you
the
know,
people
so
go.
yeah, okay.
So anyway, great seeing you. Thank you so much. Yeah, yes, it was the Archon Satsang was canceled. If you want to have a link to that subject, I can send you, if you want to, if you're really interested in it, email me and I'll send you a couple of links that I think are of interest. We just decided
the Archon.
We just decided that it was
That's a good
essentially
subject,
too esoteric and maybe in the future, but right now didn't seem like the time.
Yeah.
So if somebody does have a strong interest, I know we did promise it. So if you have a strong interest, then send me an email and I'll give you some stuff. But it's really some very basic. Once you know the basic concept, then there's not that much more to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But sure, be happy to address that. Okay, thank you. Yes, we want to go to the UK also.
Really, we do.
Okay, bye guys.
Okay, bye guys. We love you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry. You want to leave me?